Hey there, welcome or welcome back to the Mischief Movement podcast. I'm Zoe, your guide on this journey to shake up the status quo and design a life that truly makes you feel alive. If you've ever felt disconnected, stuck on autopilot, or trapped in a life that feels more like a treadmill than an adventure, you're in the right place. I know that change can feel scary, so let's turn down the fear and crank up the fierce as we transform your life from the inside out. Whether it's solo episodes packed with actionable advice or interviews with some absolute badass human beings who've dared to defy the norm by living life their way, we're here to inspire, activate, empower, and challenge you each week. My mission is simple: to help you reawaken your rebel spirit, break free from mediocrity, and design a life that's anything but dull. You only get one wild life, so what are you planning to do with yours? If you're ready to stop settling, start living boldly, and create a positive impact along the way, let's dive in and stir up some mischief together. Now buckle up and let's go. Hey Mischief Makers, welcome back to another episode of the Mischief Movement podcast, where we're all about ditching the ordinary and designing lives that make us feel truly alive. Now, if the thought of Monday morning makes you want to crawl under the covers and not come out till Friday, you're in the right place, because today we're turning those Sunday Scaries into a launch pad for a week that you will own like the badass rebel you are. I know how those Sunday night vibes can creep in. The pit in your stomach, the dread of another soul-sucking week ahead. But by the end of this episode, you'll have some tools to kick those feelings to the curb and walk into Monday feeling confident, empowered, and ready to conquer. So grab a drink, get cozy, and let's dive in. If you're sitting there on a Sunday evening, staring at the clock, feeling that gnawing sense of dread, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that heavy cloud of anxiety that starts rolling in, reminding you that Monday is around the corner. And the worst part, it's not even about Monday itself. It's the feeling that you're walking straight back into something that doesn't light you up. Like you're stuck in a cycle doing the same thing over and over, waiting for the weekend just to get a breather. Well, I get it. I've been there too, and not just once. I had the Sunday Scaries when I worked as a waitress, as an English teacher, and as a shop assistant. And let me tell you, there were days I'd rather have done anything than go to work on a Monday. But here's what I learned. The Sunday Scaries aren't just about your job. They're about being in a place where your life is out of alignment with what you really want. The Scaries are just a giant neon sign saying, hey, you deserve more than this. Let me take you back to when my own Sunday Scaries were at their peak. I was juggling jobs that didn't fill me with joy, from waiting tables to teaching English to working in retail. And it felt like this never-ending grind. But instead of letting those feelings swallow me whole, or at least not every single week, I did find some ways to take control. Sunday nights became sacred to me. I focused on feeling good and doing things that set me up for a smoother Monday. So I got myself an early night. I made sure that I could, relax in front of the TV. I didn't feel guilty. I just, zoned out and switched off for a bit. I'd also plan out my week so that I could remove any anxiety about the impending schedule. And I think knowing what was ahead gave me a sense of control, and that really helped. But the real game changer was making sure to include time for my outside interests wherever possible, whether it was art, adventure, just hanging out with friends or reading a book that I loved. I carved out those moments that made me feel alive. And then during the workday, I also looked for the glimmers. You may have heard this term before. I really love it. It's those little moments that are not so bad amongst maybe the shit ones or the ordinary ones at least. So maybe it was a great conversation with a colleague, or a compliment from a customer, or just a task that I actually enjoyed amongst all the other ones. Those tiny glimmers gave me hope, and they reminded me that this was just a phase, a stepping stone to something better. I'd quite often repeat to myself as well, you may have heard this famous quote, "This too shall pass," because I knew deep down that it wasn't forever. It was just the chapter before I figured out my escape. Now let's talk about how you can take those Sunday scaries and flip them on their head. It all starts with reframing how you look at the week ahead. So instead of thinking, oh my God, I have to go to work, I want you to shift that to, I get to. It might sound small and pretty insignificant, if I'm honest, but actually that change is really powerful. You get to show up, you get to take steps, no matter how small, towards the life that you want. And believe me, you get to start designing a week that works for you. So next time you're stuck in that sort of inner dialogue of, oh my God, I have to go to work, I have to start at this time, I have to finish these things. That one small reframe of I get to can be absolutely magical, honestly. Just this sense of control that it gives you back, that sense of empowerment. And, I get to earn a wage. Even that alone is different from, oh my God, I have to go to work. I also want to challenge you to rebel against your routine. If you feel like you're on autopilot, let's break it. Find one thing this week that you can do differently. It doesn't have to be life-changing, and I know that I talk about this all the time. It could be as simple as taking a different route to work, stopping for coffee at a new place, or listening to a podcast that inspires you on your commute. It doesn't even have to be mine. Small acts of rebellion, no matter how tiny, remind you that you're not stuck. You're still in control of your life. Okay, time for some actionable steps. Now, these are things that you can do starting tonight to ditch those Sunday scaries and step into Monday feeling way more empowered. First up, I want you to make your Sunday nights a time for you. So this isn't about being productive or getting a head start on the week. It's about relaxing and resetting. Light a candle, play some music, reflect on what you want for the week. You could go for a run, you could do some meditation, you could do a Pilates class, you could do some painting, some writing, some reading, whatever it is that helps you to relax and take your mind away from that place of work anxiety. Focus on what's possible, not what you dread. So by turning Sunday night into a mini self-care ritual, you're taking back control. You could also visualize the week that you want. So if you were to close your eyes and picture yourself at the end of the week, what's happened? How do you feel? What did you accomplish? This exercise is less about the specific tasks and more about the energy you want to bring to the week. So by doing this, you're setting an intention to show up as your best self, right? Bold, confident, and in control. You could also pick one small win for Monday morning. So maybe it's hitting the gym, maybe it's having a great conversation, or finishing a small task that you've been putting off. Starting your Monday with a win sets the tone for the rest of the day, and that momentum can carry you through the entire week. I love that word momentum because, it's just that sense of forward motion. And if you can tap into it at the beginning of the week, hopefully you can continue it through the rest of your week. So what's your win going to be? So finally, remember that not everything has to be so serious. Inject some fun, some play, and some mischief into your Monday. Wear something bold. Start your day with a playlist that fires you up, or make a little game out of finding the glimmers in your day. Recently, I actually did a bit of a thing on stories on Instagram where I was asking people to give me the songs that make them feel like a badass. So I have actually compiled those into a badass playlist, which I will link in the show notes at the bottom of this episode. So if you do need a playlist that fires you up, feel free to listen to mine. You're welcome. Anyway, a playful, rebellious attitude will definitely shift your energy in a way that just makes things more fun. So these are all great for the short term, but what are we going to do about a long-term strategy? So I'm talking about escaping that job you hate. If you're getting the Sunday night nerves because you genuinely can't stand your job, know this. It doesn't have to be forever. Start by making space for your dreams, even if it's 10 minutes a day. Use that time to work on something that excites you. A side project, a creative passion, anything. You'll be surprised at how quickly those little steps start adding up. And also, don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Who says you have to follow this path forever? What if, instead, you designed your life to fit around your dreams? It is possible. And this week, you're going to start taking steps towards that, whether it's planning, researching, or just believing that you're worthy of more. The Sunday Scaries are no match for you. You've got the tools, the mindset, and the rebellious spirit to take on this week like an absolute boss. So here's my challenge to you. Take one bold action this week, something that pushes you outside your comfort zone or that you've been scared to do. And when you do, tag me on the socials and let's celebrate that badassery together. And next time, I'll be diving into how to bring more adventure into your everyday life. So you can stay tuned for that. Anyway, I hope this has helped and you can save this episode for a Sunday night just to remind you that you can make your Monday a little bit more mischievous and hopefully not quite so scary. Nail that week. I want you to head straight into your next week, your next Monday morning with a different attitude. Change things up. Give it some wild energy because you do have the power to change things. And that's what this podcast is going to help you do. Remember, the badass playlist is in the show notes. And if you've got some extra badass songs that you feel should be on that list, jump in my DMs and let me know on Instagram, and I will add your selection to the list. I hope this has given you some encouragement that it's not forever, okay? Everything is a stepping stone to some sort of greater success. I truly believe that. And it's just another chapter in your story. But that doesn't mean that you have zero control over it, okay? Remember that. And I will catch you next time where we are going to be talking about adding more adventure. See you soon. That's a wrap on another episode of the Mischief Movement podcast. If today's content stirred something in you, let's keep in touch on Instagram or connect with me on LinkedIn. You can even click the link in the show notes to sign up to my Mischief Mail newsletter, where you'll get exclusive insights on upcoming episodes and your chance to submit questions to future guests. But shh, don't tell anyone, it's our secret. For more info on ways to work with me and some fun free resources, check out the website themischiefmovement.com. Until next time, stay bold, stay rebellious, and of course, keep making mischief.